Ladies and gentlemen, back to the scripture here. Psalms 40. I waited patiently for the Lord. He inclined unto me and heard my cry. And the cry right now is on behalf of the people who are victims of Hurricane Irma, both in the Caribbean, also in Florida. Saw it on the news, the Florida Keys. We got St. Martin, Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands, the Bahamas, etc., 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 y'all. Let's keep them in our prayers, all right? And where we can lend a helping hand, let's do that. Getting into the middleweight division. To me, this is a sleeper matchup. And it really was interesting watching that little clip with, I saw it on Paulie Molinari's Twitter, with Billy Joe Saunders, going up. They were in the same room, and Saunders comes and takes off Willie Monroe's glasses, and then one of Willie Monroe's guys that are with him, he takes Billy Joe Saunders' cap off, which is very interesting. And what's interesting is that, people say, a street fighter, man, a guy who can street fight, he would beat a boxer. In no way, no shape, no form. The way how Billy Joe Saunders easily handled the dude who was barking. I mean, look, man, there's a reason why boxers are not allowed to street fight. I was watching Errol Spence Jr. too, doing some body work on a huge black dude, man. And the dude quit on him. I'm just saying, I realized that these guys, they can't be involved in street fights and stuff. We even saw Adrian Broner clock a dude and knock him out cold, mash up his mouth and stuff. One more thing I want to just add. So much I want to say, but some of it's not relevant to this video. But there's a reason why boxers today at a certain weight class wear a certain size gloves. There's a reason why above 154 guys wear 10-ounce gloves. Below 154 you have 8-ounce gloves. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason. Think about it this way. Guys back in the day, way back in time, right? They used to, heavyweights used to wear 8-ounce gloves, right? They used to wear that. But think about it this way. While there was a lot of deaths, boxing's different to MMA in that, it's head trauma. There's a repeated head trauma, and that could kill people, right? It's not just the punching power that the boxers have, which is tremendously greater than MMA fighters, but it's also the fact that they also repeatedly hitting each other in the head. MMA is not nearly like that. So it's repeat head trauma, especially if you're not getting knocked out and you're taking punishment to the head. That's actually worse for your brain, okay? But the boxers yesteryear used to use smaller gloves. Yeah, they used to knock out each other and stuff like that. But boxers today, there's two very important points I just want to mention, and I'm coming back to Willie Monroe and Billy Saunders. The first point is the boxers today are bigger than those guys. Because of same-day weigh-ins, when you say welterweight, the guys had to weigh 147 or 145 pounds. It depends on what part in history you were at, But the welterweights today don't go through same-day weigh-ins. So you can have a welterweight going as much as 165 all the way down to 158. So they're bigger guys than the guys back in the day. Then the other thing that makes boxing so much different is the fitness level of the modern day athletes. They're much more athletic. They're much more agile. And some people will say, well, no, look, if you look at Ezra Charles, he was athletic and agile. Not like these dudes, okay? Nutrition is more a part of athletics today than it ever was. And like I said about athletes, if you look at Carl Lewis, he could run things under 9 seconds. But you look at a guy like, just name any one of them. We have modern day running athletes. Usain Bolt was one. He ran under 9.6. He ran 9.5 something. You know what I'm saying? So my point being, the athletes have become better athletes today than of yesteryear, and they're bigger. When we say they're bigger, stronger, faster, we're not playing. And they also hit harder. All right. When you look at if these guys, if Billy Joe Saunders was to punch somebody, anybody, he'd knock them clean out and break their jaw at the same time, and possibly give them head trauma, have them with a busted nose, bleeding through their nose and their ears. All right. Have you ever seen a boxer punch another boxer without gloves? You've seen it a couple times in history. And one guy, he was charged with assault because of that, because he did it after the bell. Okay? A boxer cannot punch a person with his bare knuckles. What two things the gloves do. They protect your knuckles from breaking up. Okay? That's why they're padded. And the second reason is to protect the other guy. Okay? And the size of the glove, it helps with the padding. It doesn't really help with the force at which you punch a punch, but the pressure at any particular point can be very damaging. So I just wanted to share that. Now let's get back to Willie Monroe and Billy Joe Saunders for a minute. So with Billy Joe Saunders and Willie Monroe, we're talking about a very interesting bout, man. It's a sleeper. We're talking about Gennady Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez, but this is another championship bout, WBO, between Billy Joe Saunders, a very slick, skilled southpaw, and a very skilled boxer in Billy Joe Saunders. I cannot tell you how skilled Billy Joe Saunders is. He's a very skilled boxer. So this matchup's actually a very keenly contested one. I'm paying attention to it. I'm really interested in seeing what will transpire between these two athletes. Of course, I'm not going to be watching it in real time. I'm not even going to watch Canelo versus GGG in real time, because I believe I already know who wins that fight. And in terms of my pick for Billy Joe Saunders versus Willie Monroe, I think Billy Joe Saunders will come out the winner of this fight as well. He's a very, very skilled boxer. I think people underestimate him, and I think he's going to make a statement against Willie Monroe. Willie Monroe doesn't know it yet. I mean, Willie Monroe's he's skilled too, but he's no Billy Joe Saunders, and I'm just saying it. I'm just calling it as I see it. So I think I picked Billy Joe Saunders to beat Willie Monroe. I picked Canelo to pretty much beat Gennady Golovkin. That's been my pick all along with Canelo, and I think Billy Joe Saunders is just going to live up to it. Now, if if Triple G surprises me, that would be cool. I don't have a problem with that. You guys can gloat and hang it over my head. And if Billy Joe Saunders loses to Willie Monroe, you can gloat over that too, right? But I'm just calling it as I see it. All right, Billy Joe Saunders would have done his homework. He would have seen what happened to Willie Monroe versus Triple G. He'd have done his homework. I'm not saying that styles make fights, of course, so he can't approach Willie Monroe like that. He has to be equipped with all possibilities, but he would have watched and seen the chinks in the armor of Willie Monroe. You know what I'm saying? And with Canelo, he would have seen the chinks in the armor of Triple G. Of course, Triple G, the problem with Triple G is his defense. I said defense wins fights. So there are many different ways for Canelo to win this fight, but I think he's going to try. If the opportunity presents itself, he's going to look to stop Triple G. That's what I feel. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. On that note, I hope you guys have a good one.